So Ankit, as you mentioned that it has been, 6 to 7 years since you are there. I'm sure you are the right person to comment on, what kind of challenges students face.
That Germany is quite famous for its bureaucracy. The thing is that when you come to Germany, you have to first do the city registration. You have to get registered yourself in the university. And after that, you can activate your block account. And from the day of activation, it takes at least 1 month to get your access to the block account. So for that,
Hello all, this is Damini, co-founder of VMX Scholars. I welcome you to yet another episode of our series Discover Study Abroad. Today I have Ankit with me, Ankit Sakuja, who goes by the name Ankit in Germany across all his channels. So Ankit went to Germany as a student about 7 years ago, and he had been working full-time there for more than 3 years. So I'm going to ask him, all the tips, the challenges he faced as a student, and tips on finding the best accommodation, blocked account, and we will also talk about the work culture because Ankit also worked in India for about 3 years before he went to Germany. So I'm gonna ask you to compare the work culture. So let's listen to him and let's start the session. So hi Ankit, thanks a lot for taking time on a weekend for having this, conversation for my viewers. I'm sure you're gonna share a lot of insightful information with us today. So Ankit, just to start with, can you give a brief introduction about yourself for my viewers?
hi guys, my name is Ankit Sakuja and I live in Germany for the last 7 years. I came here in Germany in 2016 to do my master's in electrical engineering and information technology. Currently, I'm working as a software engineer. Apart from that, I also help students who want to come to Germany through my social media handles, that is YouTube and Instagram. Ankit in Germany is my social media handle name.
Okay. So Ankit, as you mentioned that it has been, 6 to 7 years since you are there. I'm sure, you are the right person to comment on, what kind of challenges students face. And also because a lot of students reach out to you for, support through your channels. So I'm sure, even now, even after you, the generation of people who have come in Germany, what kind of challenges, they face. So can you share some insights on that?
So the major challenge is the language barrier. As you may be opting for a master's course that is in English language, so your life will be pretty easy in the university where you have to speak in English, your professor will be able to speak to you in English, everything is good. But when you go outside the university, you have to deal with the locals. So for example, going to shopping or going to government offices for some official work, there you need German skills. Sometimes the locals are helpful enough, they can help you, or you can contact me if you need some help for that. And the second is the German bureaucracy. So as you know that Germany is quite famous for German bureaucracy. Things take a little bit longer here because as an international, you are not familiar with the German rules, and sometimes it is difficult to begin in the starting.
Okay. Okay, got it. So, Ankit, as you specifically told about the challenge is with respect to German language, I wanted to understand because see, when people are going for an English taught course, right? So even when I was applying, I did apply to a couple of universities in Germany. So when we look at that English taught program, we go for a very basic German level, German certification in India, right? So what do you recommend? So when people are, before they land in Germany, even if it is an English taught program, what kind of a, proficiency they should have, with their German level certification?
I will suggest you that at least go with basic level, that is A1 level of German language skills, and you should do it from Goethe. Not to do it from Goethe, but I will suggest you to get a certification from Goethe Institute. That's really good and create a good impression on your CV as well as in your profile. But if you want to go further, like get like things should be smoothly for you, go till at least B1 when you come to Germany. Once you are in Germany, you should be till B1 level.
Okay. So you're saying B1 is something, they will be able to at least communicate because when you
Yes.
spoke about the challenges, I think it is particularly, okay, got it. Okay. So Ankit, now another challenge which I've heard from a lot of people when they come to Germany is about the accommodation. So is that really a challenge? And if yes, what are some of the pro tips to, get a cheap and best accommodation in Germany?
So I think you are also aware of the fact that Germany needs highly skilled labor and there's a shortage for that. And the thing is that Germany has opened doors for the internationals, but they were not prepared for the accommodation. So yes, there is a problem of accommodation. There is a shortage, and as an international student, they prefer to stay near the university for so that the things will be easy for them. They can commute easily. They have the local grocery stores nearby, and it will save their time. That's the thing as a student when they go for accommodation. Yeah, but I will suggest you some tips which really can save you time, because when you are looking for apartment, at least plan 3 months in advance when you are looking for the apartment. So second is like try
Okay.
to look for apartment that are kind of away from the university. So at least 10 kilometers is also fine, like outside, not outskirts of the city, but somewhere in the middle, so that you can easily commute also and you don't waste much time. So third is like try to
Okay.
speak in German with the house owners, because when you speak in German, they can interact with you properly, and then there's a build of trust, and you have better chances of getting the apartment.
Okay. So
Yes.
I think in all these things, one common link I'm finding is you should be able to speak in German, because only then the other person, maybe the landowners, the house owners, and all would treat you maybe a little more, differently if you're talking to them in German. Am I right about it?
So there are options where you can speak English, but the options are limited. I have like I'm quite relocating a lot in Germany from last 7 years, and what I have seen, like for me it was easier to get an apartment when I spoke in English than in German. So from my
Okay.
experience, I can say like if you have some German skills, it's easy to find an apartment.
Okay, got it, Ankit. Okay, so Ankit, other than accommodation, blocked account, which is a criteria when students are coming to Germany, they have to put their living expenses in blocked account. So I've heard from a few students that even that becomes a challenge, that after they land in the country, they're not able to get funds as smoothly as they expected out of blocked account, like on a monthly basis. So is that also a challenge? And because I have made a video earlier telling people about what are the different options, but it'll be great if you can share some insights on that.
As I've told you, like it's not completely true. It's not completely true that that you don't get access to the block account easily. The thing is, in the initial when you come to Germany, there is some formalities that you have to perform. As I told, that Germany is quite famous for its bureaucracy. The thing is that when you come to Germany, you have to first do the city registration. You have to get registered yourself in the university, and after that, you can activate your block account. And from the day of activation, it
Right.
takes at least 1 month to get your access to the block account. So for that, in that time period, like you won't have access, like you won't get the net banking details, no debit card. So that 1 month period is a difficult time for the international student, and I suggest that at least you should bring €1,000 cash, so that your 1 month you can sustain easily. And after,
Okay. So I think that's probably a very important tip. Sorry for cutting you there. So I think people who are watching us today, please note this. Ankit has shared a very important, tip here, that bring some amount for the 1 month, because that's the activation time, which even I wasn't aware of personally, that students, I thought that when they land there, they'll start getting money from the blocked account right away. But thanks, Ankit, for sharing us on that. And you were saying something. Sorry for that.
yes, once you have the account, then it's easy for you. You can access your money very easily every month. Yeah.
Okay, got it. So Ankit, you are working full time, and you got that job after completing your studies. Now, coming from the German language perspective, because we discussed over this call multiple times that language barrier is one of the key challenges which international students face. Other than that, what were the other challenges which you had to face while getting this full time job, and was it easy for you?
No, it's not easy, because the thing is, like for job you have to have the same motivation. Even you apply in job for in India or in Germany, you have to apply to thousands of job, and out of which only few of them you will get response, and then you will get selected for the interview. So it takes time. It's right. You should begin in the early stage when you are doing your master thesis, like in that is your last semester of your studies. So start applying during that time, because you have some time there, and you can apply to many jobs. Also in Germany, there is a concept of job fairs where you go to companies, where you go to a messe like a stadium, and there are a lot of companies there. You can share your resume with them. You can have interview them. Some companies are also hiring directly from there. So this is a good option for the students who and get. So this is a good option for the students. Yeah, and I will suggest
Okay.
that.
So job fairs is one of the things. Okay, yeah, please.
And I will suggest that students should apply for jobs that are relevant to their job profile, to their skills, and what they have studied. They should not do something like studying automation and then applying for embedded engineering. So this should not be the case. They should only go for the field that in which they have experience.
Okay. So you are saying that people are unnecessarily, what you have seen is people are unnecessarily wasting their time applying for jobs which are irrelevant to
Yes,
their profile.
sometimes people have an interest like, okay, I want to make my career in this field, but yeah, and they want to think like, okay, the profile requires zero experience, but sometimes you also need your studies, like your bachelor's or the master's you have done in the same field. The companies look into that thing, and if you don't provide that thing also, it's also a negative impact, and you won't get the interview also in that
Got
case.
it. Got it, Ankit. So I think that's another pro tip which you have shared here today. I think people should note that you might want to have a career in management, but what if you have studied engineering? Probably that's where you have higher probability of getting a call for the interview. So great. So Ankit, now one question which is very different, and I haven't asked any of my guests till date. So you have worked in Germany for almost more than 3 years now, and you worked for a almost similar period in India before you flew for your masters to Germany. So how do you compare the work culture? Is it similar? What are the differences? How do I'm sure a lot of people watching this would want to hear answer to this, because when they're working in India they want to see how it is different. So I want to hear it from you.
So the first thing is like what I noticed, the difference is the work-life balance. So in Germany, you can start your work even at 5 a.m. and can leave the office at 3 p.m. So once your work is done, you are free
Okay.
to go. There is no manager who is going to ask you why you are leaving so early. Whereas in India, there was a complete different ceremony. Like you have to reach company at 8 and you have to leave the office at 5. If you leave before, then that may be the chance that you are not working well or you are just skipping the work. That's one thing. Then the second thing is the direct communication. Germans are quite direct. If they don't like your work, they can say to you directly on your face, like they don't like your work, please improve it, make it better. But in India, I feel like my experience was like my managers were like, they say something on the face different, like you did very good, but on the back it's completely different. That's what my experience was. But not, I think it's not for the same for everybody. And there is a
Yeah.
kind of flat hierarchy. Like in here, you don't have to say sir or madam to everyone. You can just call them with their first name, and they are quite okay with it. You can call your manager with their first name. Whereas in India, you have to say dear sir, dear madam, and so this is quite not accepted here. So this is something I really like here,
Yeah.
being working professional.
Got it. So Ankit, I think the last part I can also relate to. So I remember when I went to UK, we had this habit of calling our professors and teachers by sir and ma'am, and then in UK it is just for the royal people they use sir and madam kind of a thing. So we used to call our professors. So when we started, I used to call them like sir, and then they said no, call me by my name, and then it was very awkward for us. But I think that's how the culturally it is different when you go abroad. So, great. So, Ankit, we have discussed some really insightful tips in this call. So, now before we conclude this, I want to ask you my final question, because you went to Germany as a student and you deal with a lot of students, as in like you interact with a lot of students who are coming to Germany as an international student from India. So, I would like to know from you, what are some of the tips you would like to give it to people who are aspiring to study in Germany?
So the thing is, like, if you are really serious about Germany, first of all, start preparing at least 1 month in advance, because you have to make the list of the universities which you want to apply. Plus, you have to make the requirements, like you have to give the exams. For example, IELTS, TOEFL, GRE, GMAT. They take time for the preparation and for the results also. Then right now, Germany has also introduced APS certificate. And right now there is a complete backlog
Yeah.
going on in APS, like you get your certificate at least in 3 or 4 months. So prepare that thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And after that, yeah,
Yeah, so you're saying that, start 1 year in advance, write your IELTS and, TOEFL, and then, shortlist the universities, because this APS and even the visa thing, it is taking a lot of time. That's what you were
yes.
trying to say, right?
And after that,
Okay. Okay. So when ideally, sorry Ankit for cutting you there. When ideally is the university deadlines, by when students should be like done with their application
for
process?
example, if you're planning for winter semester, so the deadlines will start from December till May. It depends on university, and the semester will start in August or September.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you want to prepare for winter semester for 2024, you should start now.
Okay, got it. And once they have got their admit to the university, how much time? So APS, because even I read a few articles that it is taking about 3 to 4 months of time. So how much timeline, from the time I get the admit to the time I have my intake, what kind of a time does it take?
So two things are there. Right now, the universities, German universities are also asking for APS certificate. That means when you are applying for the university, you need to bring this APS certificate. So if the deadlines
Okay.
begin from December, you should have the APS certificate at least in September. And you can plan accordingly, like maybe you should apply in March for the APS so that in September you have the certificate, and in November or December you can apply for the university.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so Ankit, that makes a lot of sense. So thanks for sharing, these important tips with us for our viewers. So thanks again for taking out time on a weekend for recording this.
Yes, thank you for inviting me on your channel. I'm really happy that I am able to help you all. And let's see, all the best for the students who want to come to Germany. Yeah.
Yeah. So, guys, Ankit's channel Instagram handle is mentioned in the YouTube description, and we will be mentioning his YouTube channel on the title. So, do follow him on both these channels. Yeah. Thank you.